Hello my Publicity fans, this is Mark from My Size Hedge Fund and we're back with the Decklist of the week, which this week again comes from the big boy, who just seems to have a lockdown on the Decklist of the week. This time it's Sleeper Hold, another HB deck, this time using the assets that are so good in HB like Advanced Assembly Lines, Clone Suffrage Movement and Jeeves for example, plus team sponsorship to recur everything that you thought was annoying the first time around, you trashed it and then just come back for more. Plus there are some great operations that you can recur with the Clone Suffrage Movement. Biotic Labour, of course, is fantastic as always. Blue 11 clearance, so you can draw into your various bits and pieces. But the main point of this deck is to tax the runner clicks. And that's where Enhanced Login Protocol comes into its own. So you have a lot of just gear check ice, but the runner's going to have a hard time drawing all the various pieces that they need, plus checking everything that you're putting out when there are so many good assets on the table. And you could just go for the agenda scores, or you can just wait, Biotic Labour out whatever you need. It's a really interesting deck. For starters, it doesn't run Hedge Fund, which is really intriguing. Secondly, it does run Jeeves, but it doesn't run Subliminal Messaging, so some interesting calls made here. In terms of agendas, then you have Domestic Sleepers making a return, because you can just score 3 2-pointers and then just score this out as well. Plus, if you do it with Jeeves on the table, for example, you score it early and then you just triple click, you get the extra click to do whatever you want. So it's an intriguing deck, as it so often is from the big boy, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try and seeing how it fares. Well, we find ourselves up against Valencia, and that's one way of dealing with a gear check based identity, and also something that's running ELP. You don't need to worry about it that often when you have things like blackmail. The opening hand, it's okay. It has Magnet, which could be nice to see early, especially against a Anarch. Only the one agenda, which isn't too bad, and it has ELP nice and early as well. So we can do better, but we can do much worse as well. So I think we keep it and see how we can get on. Now, Magnet's a nice piece of ice to have early. Maybe we should play it like Old School Criminal, where we don't res it until maybe they put a Parasite down. Let's see what we draw into. As said, we're not going to be drawing into hedge funds, things like that. So instead we're looking for like Advanced Assembly Lines or lateral growth early. Well, there you go. That works out pretty well for us. So we'll get this down and just credit up, I think. Now, because we don't know what type of Val we're playing, HQ is a safer ice, but I think we R&D ice instead, just to make sure that they don't get a medium or a keyhole or something like that and just absolutely wreck us. So this is a great piece of ice, or a great card out of HP I should say, because you're just getting to install on their turn, get an extra credit, which is absolutely fantastic. So we'll stick that in our R&D. And now we're good to go. So Vitruvius, we don't want to lose it, but it might not be the worst thing in the world if we do. We have 3 2s anyway. But hopefully we just kind of see what kind of thing we're dealing with here. So they're going to take their free look, but no Temujin or anything like that. They're just having a scout out instead. Maybe we should have put down the ELP, but with a Vitruvius in hand. Ooh, okay, that's right. Not quite what we were expecting. Let's draw. Advanced Assembly Lines does very little for us here. But, do we put ELP down now? It's probably still too early. They may not spend a lot of time running now because of this being down. So I think instead they're going to actually just take their time, and they're going to be a bit of a pain for us. So now we have to watch out for siphons as well. And now I really wish this Magnet was on HQ. So we need to find a piece of ice, hopefully a non-porous one, so hopefully not eat cheese. And ELP is not going to do much to save us either. But for the moment we might be okay. They might take a little bit of time just to set up. So maybe, just maybe, well, there's our piece of ice for HQ at least. Now they're likely to just check this anyway. And again, maybe we should have put ELP down, held onto it in hand, and just put the rotor turret down instead. We'll see, time will tell. Yeah. They were always likely to check it, now they will trash it. But at least we're taxing them clicks. We should be taxing them more, I will say that. But we're getting there. So, architect, if we can find something not quite what we wanted. Where do we put this architect? Could put it on HQ. Rotor dies immediately anyway, so maybe it is the way to go. And if we put ELP down, they're not going to run this turn because we haven't installed anything, so I think we hold it till we put down another asset. Unfortunately, the longer things go, the more chance they have of having blackmail, which means when we put down ice and something behind it, they can probably get it out pretty easily. And instead, the setup is coming. EG is not the piece of ice we wanted out front. Lateral growth. Maybe it'll have to do. We can put it on archives so that when they go to check stuff, because I mean they still have to get through things, and chances are Siphon is what they're playing. So maybe it is the best possible way. I mean, Valencia of course also plays Paparazzi, but I think for the moment we just ice up HQ heavily. Because we don't have a Chrysium grid, so this is our next best course of action. And very soon I suppose we just start doing the biotic labours. So 3 clicks, EG does nothing, but Architect is really good for us. Ooh, that is not the that is not what you want to see. We could put vanilla out here, and we could put the Vitruvius behind it. It's not the worst idea. Or we could put Jackson out there. We know we're getting a beta test next. And we can install from archives as well, so. Clone Suffrage could be good. I think we go Sansan because it's the more annoying one. And it's also quite relevant for us here. Now, unfortunately, we know the beta test is pretty terrible for us. So we could do Rotator just to end the run. Or we could let them in the off chance. No, I think we have the money, so we'll just end the run here. So, coming for Jackson. think we'll let them have it. Again, just whittling away at their money. So, we know the beta test is not a good fire. So I think we just go for it anyway and don't fire it. And just work on getting ourselves back in kind of a safe position. A few agendas coming, which is not great to see. No, we will not. And we can still res our magnet at least. Okay, so this is going to be the tag source then. And I think we just take credits. Although that's a pretty bad turn. Perhaps I should have shuffled with Jackson instead of handing it over, because they've been making plenty of money off the daily casts. We could have gotten the shuffle at the very least. Yeah, that probably is the better way to go, because at the moment now, sitting on 3 agendas, not a great place to be. So let's install this. Let's ELP and take a credit. So we'll eat into the amount of clicks they have, unless they want to Joshua B. Okay, they're just going to key all. Well, let's res this then. But now if they want to check this, they have to spend both clicks. Which is... it's okay, it's not great, but at least we've cost them their turn. So vanilla is fine. Jeeves is actually really good. So let's get both of these down. We have a way of ducking siphons. We have a way of scoring out a little easier. But times like this, I really wish this deck ran subliminal messaging. And at this stage, they probably have a blackmail, so we might get one of those wasted. And they're just going to make a regular run. So that works out well for us. So again, a turn wasted. Now we just have to find a means of scoring. If we can get our biotic labours back, it's better for us. Lotus Field could be good. Do we want a Lotus Field down? I think if we do, it'll be a new server. But that just allows them to blackmail, so I'm not sure. I think at the moment we just get our money back. Because we will need money if we have to trash through the likes of the Wireless Net Pavilion, DLR, all that kind of thing. So, well, rumour mill. Jeeves is not long of this world then. And unfortunately that turns off the ELP as well. we got another turn of it at the very least. So we know they have... We know 2 of the 5 cards that they have. And wow, the agendas are just coming thick and fast now. So again, they could have a blackmail. But I think we just have to stick Vitruvius in here anyway and hope for the best. They've seen quite a few assets, so they might think that this is nothing to worry about, for the time being at least. They might be too concerned with milling things or other setup elements. There's the paparazzi. Alright, so now the race is on. So we're going to advance by 4, assuming the Vitruvius stays alive. And that will allow us to recur something. Team sponsorship sounds like a good bet. So we are getting there. We would prefer an efficiency committee. But we can recur the biotic labour now, which means we're just looking for domestic sleepers. It's not bad. 2 fall guys out, it's basically a race at this stage. The question is, can we win this race? We need to draw the domestic sleepers. We need a biotic labour. So show me domestic sleepers. Nope. We can do this, however, which is quite funny. So we can draw. We got another Jeeves. They still haven't done anything here, so we could just use this to turn back on Jeeves. That may be better for our next turn. I think for the moment put this over archives. They might think that there's something good in there. Now at the moment there's not, but it's tough to call. It is tough to call. So they've gotten themselves a blackmail. There was a beta test. And a Jackson, but no domestic sleepers. So we can give up 4 points. Which I think we do for the moment, because we need this at the moment for biotic or for sleepers, depending on what gets trashed. Maybe we'll need to use it for Jackson, just to keep ourselves in the mix. You're not sleepers. You're not sleepers either. Well, we could be in trouble. Let's distract them with sponsorship into this protected remote. And I think we get rid of the shipment. I think we need to use this. I think we should have used it by now, actually, to get the biotic. Get one of these scored. That's probably our next turn. So we've lost all the Jacksons, but there's a domestic sleeper still there, so we still have a chance. One in 5 to draw it. We can pop this, get Jackson down. It's going to be very tight. The fact that we have 4 agendas in hand, it is the only agenda left in R&D. We need to draw it right now. Excellent. Love it when it happens. Now, it took a while, but it finally got there. And Rumour Mill does not affect this. So let's get this resed, install into a new remote, advance, switch off the Rumour Mill, get a Jackson back on the board. Now they have same old things, so I'm willing to use it immediately. And we need to get back to the Jacksons and hope that it's almost better for us if they use the same old thing to recur the Rumour Mill, because that is a couple of clicks that they're not using to mill us. This is actually kind of a tough call for them. So, they play Rumour Mill, which is fair enough. And they hit a few good cards, but again, we might be okay. So they're going to blackmail. We can let them get to 6 points, because we need to use the Vitruvius on Biotic Labour. If only I had the shipment. So, Biotic Labour gets us to 4 clicks. This gets installed. If we had a shipment, we could score out the global food. Instead, we kept the useless enhanced login protocol. So instead, we have to Biotic install advance. Yeah, instead we have to score Vitruvius, use this to get Jackson back. It's going to be tight. And again, this is why you play subliminal messaging or something like that. So now, they can use same old thing to recur rumour mill. Probably their last one. Or probably the only way they can do it. Then they can use 2 clicks to mill or they can use 4 clicks. It's a tough call. So they can use same old thing and take out our Jackson. Hit 3 cards, which we know aren't agendas. If they have another rumour mill though, we are screwed. But we know they're not agendas, so I think we just use it now. What am I even thinking? Yeah, we just shuffle 3, which can be any 3 really. Let's go with shipment, biotic, and lateral growth. And now, unless they run HQ and somehow get through all of this, which they've shown no inclination to do, we should be okay. So they can trash 5, or they can trash 4, they can blackmail. But they're gonna fall just short because thank you, Agenda Flood. And our turn is just going to be score out domestic sleepers. And we can get a click with Jeeves, which is quite funny. We could biotic the last Vitruvius, but let's do the domestic sleeper score instead. So that was a tight one. Against this kind of DLR thing, you very much have to commit to a strategy. So we went with the score out, and it just about did it. But I've been in a situation before where you try and trash stuff, or you half trash things, and you just end up completely screwing yourself. So here we were a little lucky, a little fortunate with the Agenda Flood. Team Sponsorship is an amazing card, especially against a deck like this. And, you know, we played the odds, didn't crack too soon with the Vitruvius token, let them get to 6 points, but we had a plan in mind, and I think it paid off in the end. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought, and come over to Ice Ice Hedge Fund for more Jinteki.net games from myself. Thanks for watching.